well that I've been waiting to say to our MP Ben Carr here.
Okay.
Because I'm from Queers for Palestine, and some of you may have seen Ben Carr recently published an article that singled out Queers for Palestine. He wrote, one of the groups that has been the most vitriolic in its anti-Semitic rhetoric is called Queers for Palestine.
Shame!
Shame!
Now this is a serious accusation because anti-Semitism is a serious threat, one which the Palestine Solidarity Movement needs to actively guard against. As I understand it, anti-Semitism in its modern form is rooted in European race science and white supremacy, and one of its functions is to lay the blame for the violences of capitalism and imperialism on a conspiracy of Jewish people, thereby justifying violence against the masses of Jewish people all around the world. When people in the Palestine Solidarity Movement blame Jewish people for the violences of Zionism, they make a grave mistake which confuses and weakens our movement for freedom and justice. We must understand and affirm that Jewish people and Zionism are not one and the same, just as anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism.
That's right. Right.
Many in the Palestine Solidarity Movement understand deeply and firsthand what anti-Semitism means. First and foremost, the many anti-Zionist Jewish activists who have been part of this struggle now and for years and years prior. For others in the movement, including many who are being politicized now for the first time, anti-Semitism is a problem that we need to study and think more about. So as a movement, we can support each other to learn and think critically, remembering and drawing on the lesson from the socialists of the 20th century who said that anti-Semitism is the socialism of fools. Now we say anti-Semitism is the anti-Zionism of fools. Now Ben Carr didn't stop at calling Queers for Palestine anti-Semitic. He went on. He said the irony and hypocrisy, quote, of their views is overbearing. They come from a community who, if residing in Israel, would be celebrated and free to be who they are openly. And if they lived under the rule of Hamas, says Ben Carr, they would be killed in public squares. So here Ben Carr is repeating tired Zionist propaganda developed over a decade ago as part of the Brand Israel Project, a public relations campaign run by the Israeli government to improve the image of the apartheid state. Queer and trans Palestinians have denounced this project for years, this project that attempts to pinkwash the foundational and ongoing violence of the Israeli regime. In the words of queer Palestinian artist and activist Bashar Murad, there's no pink door in the apartheid wall that saves queer Palestinians, and if there were, does that mean that queer lives are more valuable than others? We will not allow the occupation to weaponize our sexualities against us. Today, Israel continues to pump out its pinkwashing propaganda, claiming, for example, that the first ever pride flag was raised in Gaza by the invading IDF troops. But as Israel rains bombs down on the people of Gaza, massacring thousands indiscriminately, queer and straight, cisgender and transgender, there's no way for an honest person watching to claim that Israel is a progressive force in the world. And instead of swallowing Israel's uninspired and uninspiring propaganda, queer people across this country and around the world are seeing ourselves in the Palestinian liberation struggle. We're showing up at rallies with placards and banners that proclaim that we're queer and we stand with Palestine.
Yes.
Whoa.
We're organizing marching blocks, we're founding organizations, we're taking action. Ben Carr calls us hypocrites, but we know that when we call for a permanent ceasefire and a free Palestine, we're on the side of justice. And you, Mr. Carr, are on the side of genocide.
Shame!
But it's not too late to join us. Ceasefire now, free Palestine.